Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new horror film, Jimmy and Stiggs, and this is from writer, director, and star Joe Begos, who plays a fictionalized kind of version of himself, this horror film director who is all drugged out, has become a recluse, and had a falling out with his best friend Stiggs, played by Matt Mercer. But when aliens attack and he starts dealing with all of these alien invasions of his small apartment, him and Stiggs have to team up and try to take down these aliens. And Begos is a director who I'm a big fan of his one film VFW. It's up there in my collection. And he makes a lot of sense for being the director who's coming out of the gate with this new Eli Roth independent studio. And you know, this film certainly pushes boundaries in fun ways, because this film, from just a filmmaking standpoint, delivers book-ending POV experiences that are wild. Like this opening sequence where we get to know Jimmy Lang, our main character. We are seeing through his eyes. We're hearing him converse with his girlfriend who wants to go out, but he's like, no, come over here. And then he sits down to watch pornography, smoke some weed, you know, there's cocaine thrown in there as well. And he starts experiencing these eerie things and this POV camera work. There's uses of like a mirror hanging above his bed, him like floating up in his room, and all these crazy things until he sees aliens. And this starts off this crazy experience of this film that's just about 80 minutes, and more or less it's him fighting with Stiggs, who finally shows up and to check in on his friend. There's some solid like friend falling out drama going on, but this is not the kind of film that you go in for like a layered story, good dialogue, just a lot of yelling, F words and cursing and all kinds of stuff, and drugs. And basically, we get to witness Jimmy and Stiggs going toe-to-toe with these practical aliens that look funny, but also shot in the right way, creepy. And they're just buckets. Buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets and buckets of neon-drenched blood everywhere. This is a neon-drenched gore fest for sure. And all the practical effects that they incorporate into this film are wild. It's campy, it's ridiculous, it's over the top, but it's also freaky, it's unnerving. It's just wild what we experience, and there's a lot of tension and horror from like what's been implanted in them, wild body horror moments, and all of this for like basically the first 10-minute POV, the last 10-15-minute POV, and then everything in between is just like friend tension and waves of aliens and all kinds of shenanigans. And this just keeps getting heightened and heightened, and I think after a while kind of feels a bit repetitive, but then you get to the final stretch of this movie, which we return to this crazy POV perspective, and basically what the audience is treated to is a wild Halloween haunted house gore fest that's some mixture of like the fungus world from Super Mario Brothers from the early 90s, some sci-fi alien technology, and just enough neon to like light Las Vegas. And this is full of crazy practical effects, blood, guts, everything, everywhere. This is not for the faint of heart. It is fun and ridiculous and over the top with all of this amazing practical effects that they put together. There's also like a strange offbeat sense of humor about it, because it all does look a little bit silly while also being unnerving and wild to watch. This is what you would say is a film for the sickos. This is wild buckets of gore and blood and guts, and I'm not the kind of person that generally is drawn towards that kind of horror, but I feel like it's a mixture of science fiction and these two friends rallying with each other, and just the insane amount of practical effects that they lean into that look campy and over the top makes it more fun that way. And this is just bonkers from start to finish. And if you are certainly a horror fan, this is such a fun time. If you're a horror fan that loves that old school grindhouse, silly, ridiculous, campy practical effects like this, you're going to have one of the most fun 80 minutes that you've had in a long time. This is a wild film from Bagos, produced by Eli Roth, and this is certainly going to be one of those midnight films that people go and just laugh and scream and all kinds of crazy stuff like that. It has that horror cult classic written all over it. But those are my thoughts on Jimmy and Stiggs. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you, as always, for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.